Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover. Man and Machine take on Mother Nature down at beautiful Haulover Inlet in Miami, Florida. Today's going to be a little bit interesting. Started off calm, but it is supposed to get a little rough as the day progresses, which means our captains are going to have a tough time, but let's see how they handle it as they do battle with the inlet. And this is going to bring us to the first round of our contest. And here in the first round, the boats are going to toss a scout in the ring to see if they can go ahead and get on the board first. Good chance here. The scouts have been haulover killers lately, but as you can tell, things have turned up. We had several big boats come through, and now we've got this crew trying to blast their way out with two ladies in the bow. Let's see if our bow riders can hang on as Cap tries to thread the needle and make it out through this mess we're calling Haulover Inlet. Right now they look okay. Cap's going about the pace the boat's letting him have, and he's going to wind up making it out and taking a win for the boats here in the first round. And that'll bring us to the second round of our contest. Boats up 1-0, and the boats are going to toss a canoe. I guess they're gonna toss a canoe in the ring. I'm not sure what brand it is. If you know, let me know in the comments. They got a Merc on the back though. But one thing I can tell you already, this thing is overloaded. There's too much weight in the bow of this boat. Some of this needed to be moved back or left off altogether to try and make it out of Haulover on a day like this. Cap, I think, sees the trouble coming and has went ahead and started to turn it around and pulling the old Haulover U-turn to see if he can go ahead and get it back into the inlet. But man, I think they are going to have some big time issues coming up here because that current is absolutely strolling its way out, and they are going to struggle getting this one right back in. Cap's got that thing wide open throttle as he's trying to work his way back toward the Haulover sandbar. But Haulover is not going to give it to him easy, and this is a dangerous spot to be in right now. Again, that bow's weighed down, and they're getting sideways in the current, and this is the last thing you want to happen, and it's over. I'm telling you now, it's over. Haulover's grabbed them. Oh my gosh. They just wind up straight flipping this thing. I mean, just not even like, it's a flat bottom canoe. There was no dead rise whatsoever on this. This was a bad idea from the start. It looks like a cheap plastic one even at that. Our crew is now in trouble. Canoe flipped. Everything's in the drink, including the pair, and they are being sucked out of the inlet. Fortunately, there's a couple guys on jet skis here. I'm guessing they can lend them a hand, but one thing they can't lend them a hand with is the fact that they're going to wind up taking a loss here in the second round. Now, fortunately for this crew, Miami-Dade Police typically hangs out right around here. We've already radioed them from our camera team, and fortunately they come out and give them a hand. Even though they wind up with the loss, Miami-Dade with the win as they pull them out of the water. And that, of course, is going to bring us to the third round of our contest. And here in the third round, we are now tied at 1 apiece with our canoe taking a loss, and the boats are going to try and get back ahead by tossing a yellowfin in the ring, another Haulover killer, and our crew is working their way in, throttled down, trying to beat this following sea straight back into the inlet. Cap looks okay so far, staying on top of it, nose dives right there, and man, they wind up going down hard on that one. But Cap keeps them moving and keeps trying to bring it in, and no! Right there, straight buries it. This one's a rough one when that whole boat winds up basically blasting through a wave. As you can see, it comes through everything here. This crew's actually pretty lucky. I've seen boats do this in person, and the fact that windshield's even still there is absolutely amazing to me. But this crew buried the snot out of it on this one, and unfortunately for them, that means they're going to take a loss, which is going to take us to our fourth round, and Haulover is now up 2-1. And the boats are finding themselves in trouble as they have to win in this round to stay alive, and they're going to toss a Solus in the ring to try and pull that off. Another crew throttle pinned. Cap's trying to stay on top of it. He needs to be careful and watch where he's going. Pick the right line so he doesn't wind up like our last boat. And overall, this crew's going to battle their way in and wind up sneaking a win from the inlet as they wind up coming through in the 4th round. And that's going to bring us to the 5th and final round of our competition. We are now tied at 2 apiece. Who will take the win in this episode? Will it be the Boats or Haulover? 5th round, let's find out, as the Boats are going to toss a formula in the ring to see if they can go ahead and close this one out, but this does not look good. Cap's got the boat moving a little bit, barely up on plane, but with people on the bow, and it being a rough day, that one almost never ends well, especially for a boat like this with not a ton of freeboard. And there he's got to slow it down, and bam, they're done. I knew it was coming at some point. The second he started to slow down, that bow winds up dropping, and there we go. They wind up stuffing it, getting the ladies in the bow absolutely drenched as they try and make their way out of Haulover. And it's just not their day, and unfortunately, it's just not the Boats' day as a whole, as this crew winds up taking a loss in the 5th round, which means the Boats wind up taking a loss in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, who does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button. But we're not quite done yet. Yes, our contest is done and the Boats have taken that loss. But on this specific day, we did have some pretty interesting bow rider moments that just didn't quite make the cut of the video, like this crew here. And I'm still not sure how I would have rated this one. Were they actually in the competition? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Our crew really, I don't feel like they fall down. They're trying to get onto the floor because they already know they're in a bad spot. And they're probably in a safer position down there, just a little bit more painful one. But Cap keeps working it out versus trying to talk them into coming back. But the real problem I have in that one is that Cap let them get up there in the beginning. He could have stopped this one before it even started. Kind of like this situation here where we got some Haulover cowboys coming through Haulover. Same deal. Cap, your responsibility on this one, not Haulover's responsibility to tell them to sit down. You be the man, go ahead and tell them to do that. And this one's probably the one that blows my mind the most. And that's going to be the dog. The dog bow riding their way through Haulover. I mean, what in the world are we thinking on this one? This is just not a good idea. And speaking of ideas that aren't so great, taking a lake boat out of Haulover on a rough day, not a good plan either, especially if you're going to put people in the bow like we see here. Now, this one's a little different than some of the other ones we watched, as this crew winds up getting absolutely worked through this section here where they're battling several different wakes and of course the waves from Haulover, but this crew does wind up making it out okay without stuffing the bow or any major issues, which is pretty surprising for this boat. But thanks for watching, crew. We'll see you in the next one.